You're listening to the 23 Personnel Podcast, a Texas Tech athletics podcast where food and sports clash at the goal line. Here are your hosts, Spencer and Michael.
All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the 23 Personnel Podcast. I am your host, Spencer, joined by Michael. Michael, what's up, man?
Hey. We're in the middle. We're in the middle of the Texas Tech BYU game. Just hit the 15-minute mark. Game's tied at 39. How are you?
Yeah, those that are streaming with us know this is a BYU second half watch party. A Texas Tech game versus BYU watch party.
Yeah. Get the order correct. Come correct, Spencer.
We're also going to talk about the semis, not that kind of semi, Michael. College football playoff semi-finals. Talk about some news and notes from the Texas Tech football program, because that's namely what we want to cover. Discuss if this basketball team is good. I mean, we'll won't learn much tonight because it's just another game 3 of 20. Oh, hit that.
Woo!
Let's go.
Nice run.
Sorry.
Elijah Hawkins with 14 points tonight so far.
Oh, don't let him drive. Oh, that's a walk. Oh, out of bounds. Oh, no. Yep, that's us. Let's go. You'll get a lot of that for the next 45 minutes. You had a very ugly...
Williams kind of just mugged a guy in the face. It's fine.
Good.
Get out of the way. You should have moved.
D5 train coming through.
Yep.
Had a very ugly loss, frustrating loss against UCF.
I was there for that one.
And one that, like, a game at home, one that you should have won, but two is like you can't lose home games. But then you bounced back on the road against a not great Utah team. But then you really took it to Utah. So, like, okay, that kind of evens out, I guess. You won a game on the road. You lost one at home. You're staying on the road for this one tonight versus BYU. And then you're home versus Iowa State, who looks like they will just myrtleize anybody. They're just destroying people. There's a hair on the brim of my hat, and I can't get it. That's why I keep doing this. It's like just in my peripheral. Sorry. So that's not fun. You have that to look forward to. And then a not great Kansas State team after that. So you're just in it.
A not great Kansas State team that is 1-1 in Big 12 play. And
you're 1-1 in Big 12 play.
I know, but they're 7-6 overall. It's just, yes, the record's not great, but man, any of these Big 12 teams, I don't ever feel very confident playing any of them, as Tech is only up by 4 against BYU on the road.
I was going to make fun of, oh, great. You're up by 4, then give up a 3.
Yeah.
Good work. 7-6, 1-1 in Big 12 play. Their Big 12 schedule thus far has been a 1-point loss in Fort Worth, and a 3-point win at home versus Cincinnati.
Right. How about Cincinnati coming in ranked? I forget where they were. They were in the top 20. I think they were 16, maybe.
Beautiful
and
drive.
Losing their first 2. Lost on the road to K-State, as you just mentioned, and then lost at home versus Arizona. And Arizona is one of those teams that I was trying to get over to. You know, they're 8-5, but they're 2-0 in Big 12 play. And they're a team that I'm just not ever going to feel comfortable predicting any sort of victory or any sort of good thing happening when they play Texas Tech.
Yeah.
And so far 2 for 2. Well, I say that I should check the Big 12 scoreboard right now.
Why'd you doing
because
that?
they did play West Virginia uh, tonight at 6. And hopefully this will actually load. And they won. They beat West Virginia, who just got ranked this week. They were 11-2. Sorry. Apparently, we're doing our basketball preview. I'm just jumping into it, man. Sorry. I skipped everything we were going to talk about. We can come back. But yeah, West Virginia snuck into the polls this week at 21, 11-2, 2-0 in Big 12 play. They beat Kansas on the road by 1. That's obviously going to get you a lot of recognition. And they beat Oklahoma State at home. But tonight, Arizona went to Morgantown, beat them 75-56. Iowa State hammered Utah 82-59 in Ames. Whew, Cincinnati just keeps falling.
We did about just that to Utah, but in Salt Lake, hit that.
Oh, I loved the shade that the official Texas Tech media put out that Utah, when hosting Texas Tech, that was the second highest margin of victory in a Big 12 road game in Texas Tech program history.
Nice.
What a welcome. What a welcome by the Utes. I mean, to just lay down in that second half and have zero answers. That was just really accommodating. So anyway, Cincinnati goes to the new Waco.
That's a walk.
The wall in Waco against the Waco Bears, and they lose by 20, 68-48.
That's an illegal
Oklahoma
screen.
State. Oklahoma State hosted K-State and beat them pretty handily, 79-66. Tonight.
What are we doing? I swear, Michael and I talked about this before we hit record, before we started the stream. I'm not a basketball official. I've never officiated a basketball game. So, like, this is coming from ignorance, but, like, what the absolute F are these people looking at? Like, Traore just, like, stumbled 4 steps across the baseline with the ball, then chucked it to somebody. Then they set an absolute horrendously, like, textbook moving screen on offense. That's fine. Just like a, blocking downfield for a screen pass or something. And they hit a shooter, like, one leg hopping out of bounds. You give them 5 chances to score. I guess they're gonna score, but, like, what are we looking at? I don't know. I don't know what a foul is. Do you know what a foul is, Michael? Do you know what a quad 1 win is? I feel like that's the kind of conversation we're in here, because it's like
we have a quad 1 loss. We did gain a quad 2 win this week, though. I don't know how or who.
St. Joseph's?
I don't know. We were 0-1, and then all of a sudden we're 1-0 in quad 2. And whoever was quad 2 moved to quad 3.
Yeah.
It's all magic.
All right. As this game is winding, let's switch gears real quick. Let's talk football. Staff updates, Michael. Defensive assistants, 2 of them specifically, have been hired and announced. Darcel McBath promoted from analyst to a cornerbacks coach, which we were in favor of a few weeks ago. I'm not saying, like, I'm not in favor of it now. I'm just going into the bowl game. He was, tabbed to kind of be the cornerbacks coach for the game. Now it's official. Sheil Wood has hired him.
He's got some work to do.
He does.
He has a task at hand.
And like, I don't want to throw too much shade. I don't want to bury the dude, but, like, it may be as simple as just not playing Macho Stevenson. Or at least starting there. It's been discussed ad nauseum, but I just pointed out, Michael, he played 8 defensive snaps in the bowl game. In those 8 snaps, you gave up 290 passing yards, or whatever it was. 170 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. 8 plays.
90 of it was on a slant.
To his guy. And he beat him on a slant because he went like this really fast. There was another video I was watching as a highlight package or no, I can't remember what it was, but it was like funny, comical to me at least, that the highlights against Texas Tech scoring end zone big pass plays were against Stevenson.
Ooh.
It was like one per game, or like, you know, a couple handful of them in this video package. It was like, it's not a great look. Anyways, that's me piling on after I said I'm not going to pile on. And then safeties coach hired, Rob Green, coached with Shieldwood at Wofford and then Tulane. Most recently was a defensive assistant or an analyst. Was career trajectory has me a little concerned. Like, why? Like, he went as like co-DC to safeties coach, defensive backs coach to defensive analyst. Like, he's going kind of backwards. He's going up and oh, heck yes. That's a beautiful three. Going up in levels and competition and whatever, but his position title is going backward. So it's like, I guess his ultimate goal is to get to a big program, and you're there, dude. Problem though, I don't know if it's a problem. Staff obviously isn't done. You are allowed 11 coaches, 1 head coach, 10 assistants, so 11 total. Right now you've got 12. So would seem to be that you're going to find somebody else is going to depart. My assumption, my guess would be one of the linebackers coaches will move on. You won't have an outside linebackers coach and an inside linebackers coach. You'll have one of the two, CJ Ayu and Josh Bookbinder. One of them will move on, and then there will be a linebackers coach. Or some combination, but that's the one that makes sense. Because right now, like I said, you've got McGuire, head coach, Leftwich, OC, Juice Johnson, wide receivers, Josh Cochran, tight ends, Clay McGuire, offensive line. Defensive coordinator, Sheil Wood, CJ Ayu, Bookbinder. Those are your 2 linebackers coaches. Zarnell Fitch, defensive line. Rob Green, safeties. Darcel McBath, corners. And then Kenny Perry, special teams.
And running backs.
And well, no, because Garrett McGuire, I left him off this list.
Oh yeah, he's
running backs coach.
Yeah, he's running backs. You're right.
So you're at 13 coaches.
I looked at the staff page today, and it still had Perry as running back. So I had that.
Yeah, the staff page has been updated.
My mistake.
I bet they don't until they get to the official 11 number.
That makes sense.
You don't want to update it like, wait a minute, the official page lists 13 coaches.
So we've got possibly two guys that will be gone, I guess. I can't imagine anybody taking an analyst role after being on the staff.
Yeah, and I guess, like, I hate to say it, but like, you probably lose one from each offense and defense, like one of the linebackers coaches, and then like Cochran, and you just combine tight ends with wide receivers, or you split them and do catching with the receivers and blocking with the linemen. I don't know, because I don't know. It's not my job to figure that out. But you're at 13 coaches. You're allowed 11.
Yeah, or maybe Leftwich or Wood is going to take on a position group, which I don't know how well that works or how that functions in a practice, but I guess it could.
Well, historically, offensive coordinator is also like your quarterback's coach. Not in every program. I understand that. Like, sure. some OCs are not the quarterback's coach. But anyways, so there's that. Staff is not done, but there's updates. You're getting the Diego Pavia influence here at Texas Tech. Davion Carter will return for a 6th season. Got a season of eligibility back from his his JUCO days. He played Northwest Community College 2020-2021, Memphis 22-23, and Tech 24-25. So add him back into the rotation at offensive line. Don't hate it. I know you added some great pieces. If they work out, awesome. Add Carter into a very deep and experienced room to go along with that. Competition is never a bad thing. So, and then I wanted to give a portal update, but on outgoing guys, just because I don't know if anybody's following, anybody cares. But as of today, last time I checked, there are a handful of guys that have committed or have moved on and officially cornerback Jalen Peoples headed to North Dakota State, which, hey man, they just won a national title last night.
That's right.
Against Montana State.
Undefeated Montana State.
Oh, that was a dumb foul. Good job,
I think
Baker.
Montana State came in 15-0.
Something like that. But they ran up against the buzzsaw that is a power program. Program. Quarterback Jake Strong headed to McNeese State. Ty Buchanan, Arizona. I'm sure we've mentioned this one. And Jordan Brown, Nevada. Offensive lineman Garrett Morphus, Northwestern State. They're in Natchitoches. Wait, which side is he on? Nacogdoches?
I think it's Nacogdoches. Wait.
Oh. I'll get in there. Oh my god.
Well, it's got to be Natchitoches if that's.
It's on the Louisiana side.
Yeah,
that's
calling
Natchitoches.
it Northwestern has to be Louisiana.
Yeah. Caden Carr, Abilene Christian. And then obviously other guys, Dalton Merriman, Houston, Miles Thompson, Northern Illinois, Micah Hudson, A&M, Trevin McAlpine, Tulane. I believe we talked about all the incoming guys. The last two would have been running back Quentin Joyner from USC, also at a Manor High School, their home of Taj Brooks, and the kicker Upton Belafonte from Buffalo.
Oh, who had a very good not debut, but swan song, I guess you could say, in the Bahamas Bowl versus Liberty. I think he had him 40 and a 50-yarder and something else. I may have to look that up.
Okay. I don't know if we talked about it, but Taj Brooks was awarded Big 12 Scholar Athlete of the Year. So congratulations to him. And then bowl games that have happened that I don't think we've talked about or we haven't recorded since, but the Kinder's Texas Bowl, Baylor LSU. The score 44-31 LSU. The game it wasn't even that close. It was one of those things I hate to be one of those guys, but like watching this game from the outside, I was like, SEC boys are just they're different. Like it was evident in this matchup. Maybe because it wasn't like a them versus Texas Tech. So I know we've heard like we're so undersized when we play SEC type teams, but like it was evident to me watching BYU. I'm saying that because the basketball game's on. Baylor and LSU.
Let me go back to Upton really quickly. He was 4 of 5 on field goals versus Liberty. So just on his own, he had 12 points plus 2 extra points. So he had 14 out of Buffalo's 26 points on his own.
Nice.
Of those 5 field goals, he was 1 of 1 from 20 to 29. The only one he missed was 30 to 39. Then he had 3 over 40 that he made, including 1 over 50. He had a 52-yarder.
Nice.
Not too bad. Way to send off the Bulls with a win, a 9-4 season. Welcome to Lubbock. Okay, back to SEC LSU. Yeah, I mean that was one I didn't get to watch any of.
I watched the highlights of it. I'll just be honest.
Yeah, that was one I was keeping track of on my phone, thinking, ooh, because I think that 44-31 score is a little closer than it was. I swear it was.
That's what I was thinking.
41-21 at some point or something like that. but yeah, and not to skip too far ahead, but between that and okay, I know we're about to talk about Arizona State, and they
Mhm.
did lose. They lost in double overtime to Texas. Fantastic game. I watched that, but unfortunately, that counts as a loss to the SEC. So the Big 12, as much as we like to toot our own horns, and like to throw shade on the Ole Miss's, you know, Ole Miss's chances into the playoffs and South Carolina and Alabama and Ole Miss just actually poured it on Duke, but the other two teams lost.
They
So it's kind of like okay, guys, but the Big 12's 0-3 against the SEC in bowl games this year. Maybe we should just kind of back off a little bit, just a little bit.
um yeah, and hand up like that, that's fine. I was gonna just say like Ole Miss beating the crap out of Duke, like that was Lane Kiffin being an ass.
Probably. I didn't watch
No, no,
any of
no.
that.
He did a sideline report like we felt disrespected and we're gonna show how good of a team we are and sorry about you, Duke. They were throwing Hail Marys up 20 with
Oof.
like seconds to go. Like they had their backup in there throwing into the end zone as time was expiring. They were trying to run the score up. It's fine.
Well, that
You
doesn't
do what
surprise me, but I didn't know that.
you. Um, but yeah, so Arizona State loses double overtime to Texas. Uh, there was some tweets going around, screenshots of maybe a ruling on a blocked kick that hits and still goes through the uprights, whether or not it should be counted, and blah blah blah. I was like, one, that looks like the AI generated answer you get from Google. So like, I don't know about that. But somebody else said like, again, I don't know, but like they said okay, if a ball is blocked but nobody else touches it, hits the ground but still goes through the uprights, it could possibly still count, unless it touches the ground in the end zone and then goes through. Then it's a dead ball. The kick in this game blocked, hits in the end zone, then goes through the uprights. It's like, I don't know if he's just adding a qualifier to make it not count or if that's the actual rule. I don't care to dig through that. I know a lot of people are up in arms about them trying to force Texas into it. It's like that was a misapplied ruling. Like they should have scored there. And then what is and what isn't targeting.
Yeah, that was a big turning point, a big discussion point of that game. I did get to I missed the entire first half, but sat and watched the second half, even though it wasn't looking too great for our Sun Devils and
Our Sun
scatter.
Devil.
Yeah, our Sun Devils.
Here,
We
I
root for our conference, right? Right? Is that who we are?
no, I know not a lot of people like Dillingham, but like the more he talked and like like more opportunities I saw him speak and talk about the program he has and he's running, like I don't hate it. Um, Scattaboo, on the other hand, I want to kick him in the nuts and punch him in the
Really?
face.
Oh, I mean, well, I didn't catch any of the press conference or anything like
No,
that, but I mean,
it's been the run up since the end of the regular season, talking about how he was the best running back in the country. Like you weren't even the best running back in the Big 12, dude. Shut your mouth.
but but his second half, the dude had a huge reception that was only stopped from a touchdown because the guy ripped his helmet off. He threw one of the biggest passing plays of the game for
He
Arizona State.
almost threw an interception too. Let's not
Yeah,
let that get.
yeah, that's true. But
Which
it
is
was, I mean, it was a heck of a perperformance. He
it
like
was
he puked and rallied.
boots and rallied on the sideline. I don't know if it was shown on the broadcast. I know they talked about it a lot. I know they had a camera in his face afterwards. It's like, why? Why would you?
Yeah, I don't
One,
think they showed it.
like I
Not
don't,
on the broadcast anyway. But
I don't want to be around people throwing up, but like I don't understand people on the sideline being in somebody's face as that's happening, like a coach or other players. Like I don't think they think it's funny or whatever. They're just like all up in their face.
well, how does that work on turf? I've always wondered that.
Hopefully, it drains through.
I would hope so.
I
Well, I
mean,
mean,
Most
It sifts
heck
through.
yes.
Wow.
Friendly roll. Let's get back in
Having
this
a
thing.
night. Having a night, Mr. Hawkins.
Texas Tech pulls within 2, 53-51. If you're
Let's see,
just
where's he at today?
listening along.
Hawkins has 20 points. He's 7 of 12 from the field, 6 of 9 from 3. Incredible.
I think keep shooting it, man. But
He's got 4 assists too.
how do we let? Okay. Well, oh my gosh,
They're just getting handled on the glass there.
Just took it from him. Stole it. Oh. Bang. I love that. I love that.
Is this a no crap timeout? Nope, they're gonna let it go. All right. Might regret that.
Because they Hawkins did that in the Utah game where he just pitched it back to the trailing 3-point shooter. He did it to Walton and Salt Lake. He just did it to McMillan. That's beautiful.
Oh, they did call a timeout.
I want more of that. I want more of like Hawkins pushing the ball up and then having a sneaky sharpshooter just hanging out behind him.
Oh, that okay. I'm sorry, I was kind of paying attention to the game. You were talking about the one to Kerwin Walton versus Utah, right?
Against Utah, yeah.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
And then very similar, did that just now, but he pitched it back to McMillan.
I'm just going to turn around and just hand this to you and have you shoot it
automatic over. Space. Like you're like Hawkins is creating your space for you, and then just catch and shoot with a sniper, man. Let's go. Texas Tech takes the lead 54-53, 6:59 to go. All right. So playoff. Your top 4 seeds are out. 5, 6, 7, 8 are the ones moving on to the semis. Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame. Here's the thing. With the Carson Beck injury to Georgia, they were hamstrung. They were on their way out. Arizona State being in the top 4 because of a automatic qualifier, they weren't in the top 4 best teams. Oregon losing the way they did.
Took them to double overtime, though.
Sure. Oregon losing the way they did kind of
gosh.
hurts.
Yeah.
And then who am I missing? Who was 3?
Who'd Penn State play? Is that
they played Georgia?
Oh, Boise State. They played Boise State.
No, sorry, Notre Dame played Georgia. Yeah, and again, that was one of those automatic qualifiers, like whatever. So even though they're 5, 6, 7, 8, they're not like they didn't leapfrog the 4 teams ahead of them that were better. Like these are among the top best teams left. So
here's what I like. I'm someone who can't stand the big brands and can't stand the bias that they get and all that kind of stuff. And then you look and see who it is. These are 4
did it
giant.
Did it again.
I missed it. My cap is blocking my view. So these are 4 giant brands, about arguably 4 of maybe the biggest 7 or 8 in all of college football. But guess what, Spencer? They had to earn it. They had to win these games. They had. I'm catching myself like. By now, if this was just the 14 playoff and it was these 4 teams, I would have checked out. Like, who cares? These teams are there for the benefit of the doubt, for ratings, because they had better losses, quality losses or whatever against a 11-2 BYU team or something. So we got to let 10-3 Ohio State in to the 14 playoff. So anyway, I don't have to think about that anymore. I get to even enjoy. I get to even enjoy these games. Like these. You can hate Texas as much as anybody, and I'm there with you, but they won 2 playoff games to get here. Penn State, Ohio State, Notre Dame, all of them did.
Penn State, Notre Dame look freaking good, dude.
They do. I mean, and it's going to be that you see these playoff games and you're like, okay, the Ohio State looks unstoppable. Texas is of all the teams, Texas looks to be the most kind of, you don't really know what you're going to get. You're not really sure, but I'm excited about these games. But yeah, if this had been last year, if this had been last year and it was just, all right, we're going to have Penn State, Notre Dame, Texas, and Ohio State, I've been like, okay, well, check you next year. I'll see you in August, because I don't care how this goes. But now I actually am invested and I care. It's made even a cynic like me appreciate that these teams had to earn the right to get to this place, and they actually did it. And let's see how it goes, especially
Clank.
in a snow-covered DFW on
They're going to be in a
Friday,
dome.
January 10th.
It's going to be
Well,
fine.
sure, but it's just going to be a parking lot. All of Arlington is going to be the world's biggest parking lot.
Yeah, it's fine. Thursday, Penn State, Notre Dame, 6:30 in the Orange Bowl. Friday, Texas, Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. Last 3 games are going to be at 6:30, and then Monday the 20th, national title in Atlanta. So, of the possible matchups left, I don't want to see Ohio State, Penn State, but basically the rest of them, like, give it to me. Like, same thing with you. I think much more, I wouldn't say invested, but like, I'm not tuned out because, oh, these are the top 4, and they just kind of,
Yeah,
we had the talking heads defend them and justify why they're there, blah blah blah. No, they've proven why they should have been there, and these weren't the automatic bids that missed a game. All 4 of these teams have played 3 games, or are on their 3rd game. I can't keep count. This will be their 3rd game.
correct. Yes.
So it's not like they won a game. Like, oh, now we're in the semi. No, they've won twice.
Yeah, I'm really just surprised at how uh non-negative I'm being about this. I guess that's a double negative. So how positive I'm being about this, where you're just,
Yeah, same.
I appreciate that. Okay, any other year, these 4 teams, get out of here. You've lost me. I don't care. But now it's like, okay, I've watched these games. These teams are really good. I want to see them play each other. Let's see how this goes.
Texas Tech up 61-58. They
Just
keep
hit the
forcing,
4-minute mark.
They keep forcing it into 45. Traore, and he's been missing enough, at least lately.
Oh, there's a rotation somewhere. Someone's open. Great rebound. What a rebound.
Get in. Yes, sir.
Just flying in. Who was that?
That was Overton.
Okay, that was Overton. I'm so good at play-by-play.
I love the cut of his jib.
That is my calling. Oh, just
Overton
flew in
fan.
and laid it off the glass. Tied it up. That's a
Yes,
jump ball.
sir. That's
Text
our
ball.
D5 is a monster. We should talk about basketball, Michael.
Okay.
All right. Let's do the.
Yeah,
Recruitment
we've
side.
hit the TV timeout. I can do yes. I can give a quick update on the Lady Raiders. Unfortunately, a rough start after. Well, not start, a rough start to the year, because they did play their first Big 12 game right before Christmas. Won that one against Houston, but on the road versus Arizona State, who's now 8-7, 2-1 in Big 12 play, lost big, 79-61, and then went on the road again Saturday in Manhattan versus number 11 Kansas State, who is now 15-1, 2-0 on the season, lost by 20 to them, lost 77-57. Just both games, Spencer, the Lady Raiders weren't shooting well. They were shooting 19% from 3 versus K-State, 14% for 3 versus no, I had that backwards. It was 19 versus Arizona State and 14% versus K-State. Turnovers 21 plus in both games. K-State, they had no answer for Ayoka Lee. She's a 6'6" center. She was 9 of 11 from the field. She had 19 points. Only shot 2 free throws, so it's not like it was. Yeah, it was pretty dominant there, and she only played 17 minutes. Got into foul trouble a little bit, had 3 fouls, but in that game, the Lady Raiders allowed 44 points in the paint. Just a couple of rough goes. I knew, I especially knew Kansas State would be. I'm a little surprised at how much they struggled against Arizona State. Just never was really able to get any sort of momentum. They lost every single quarter. and you end up losing by 18 that way. So I knew that was going to be a tough one because road games are tough, and I wasn't going to look past Arizona State's record, but I thought it would at least be closer than that. So after an extended stay in Manhattan, did you know this? They just flew back to Lubbock today.
Were they dealing with some storms?
Yeah, so they played on Saturday in Manhattan, and we're not able to get back to Lubbock until today. We're recording this Tuesday night, and they play tomorrow. They host West Virginia tomorrow, who is coming in hot too. They are 12-2, open league play at 2-1 on the season. 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus tomorrow here in Lubbock. We should be able to go. I'm hoping to be there. I'm really excited
Nice.
about a Big 12 game. Then Saturday, this January 11th, they will host TCU, who is 15-1, 3-0 in Big 12 play. I mean, Kansas State, West Virginia, and TCU back to back to back. That is a tough sled. So they'll play them Saturday at 6 o'clock on ESPN Plus before going to Ames Tuesday the 14th and playing at 6:30. So as always, please listen to Seeing Scarlet. They will have a lot more analysis, a lot more in-depth coverage, interviews, and anything else that I'm leaving out. So please check them out. You can find them on Twitter, you can find them on Spotify, anywhere you get podcasts. Seeing Scarlet. Give them a listen.
Oh my gosh, this team
Did
is.
Williams just score?
Yes.
Oh man, we're up. Okay, so Tech's up by 7 with less than 3 minutes. We just hit under 3.
They just showed I don't want to wait till we get there. Texas Tech is leading Division One in field goal percentage at 51.6%. We're shooting 52% tonight. So we're just on pace. As good as we're doing, we're just doing as good as we always do.
It's not an announcer's jinx if it's a recorded podcast. That you're good. So whatever happens after this, it's not your
I'm
fault.
just reading what we have done. All right, Texas Tech 10-3.
Oh, come on. He's shoving his face. That is offensive. Who's 15?
Baker.
He was just throat punching our guy in the neck.
Told you.
Just boom, boom. Chicken winging him the whole way into the lane. Okay. Sorry.
Currently, before this game goes to final, 10-3, 1-1 in Big 12 play. Oh, Fetty, you got to finish that off, brother.
He got it. He got it. Strong man wins.
Oh, but that's a jump ball. It's their ball.
I know, and it's BYU's.
Just rip it from them, bro. AP ranked teams in the Big 12. Iowa State 3. Kansas drops down a little bit to 11. Houston 12. West Virginia 21. This is Kansas moves down by losing to West Virginia. West Virginia jumps in. They were previously unranked. Cincinnati dropped out. Baylor is out. Receiving votes: Baylor, Cincinnati, Texas Tech, and Arizona. So New Year's Eve, Tuesday, New Year's Eve. So a day after we recorded last week, Texas Tech lays an egg, loses by 4, but it was ugly. You came back from 17 down or 18 down with 10 minutes to go. I think it was Ryan that was talking about, like, if you broke up into like 10-minute segments, you lost what would be like the second and third quarters of that game, including the middle 8. So like going into halftime and then obviously coming out of halftime. You just can't survive doing that a lot. Your shooting was just abysmal in the first 30 minutes of the game.
Well, and Keyshawn Hall, there was absolutely no answer for him that entire first half, and then there was the second half, but that because it became the Darius Johnson show, who played. I mean, as frustrated as that crowd was, because that crowd was very frustrated. They booed an entire timeout after some uncalled fouls and some uncalled travels. I mean, this crowd was begging for some travels to be called, and they weren't getting them. But Johnson would drive and get fouled and make it, or just make a great play. And even as angry as this crowd was, they there was a lot of people standing with their arms folded, looking around like, well, kind of turning their head like, well, that's a good basketball player, and he was, and he got to the line 10 times. He made 8 of them. He was 2 of 3 from 3. He was 70% from the field. I mean, 24 points, 35 minutes, 4 assists. He was everywhere. So yeah, there was no answer for Hall in the first half, no answer for Johnston in the second. And I don't even think, I think this was a team that I think they came in shooting 25 free throws a game. They only shot 22. It felt a little lopsided because it sure seemed like Tech was getting called on a lot more shooting fouls than they were, but the fouls were about the same. I mean, UCF got called for 18 fouls actually, and Tech got called for 17. So it was like you said, just really poor shooting. I think is what dug the hole, and it was really fun to be there and be part of that crowd that helped them get back in it.
D5.
I mean, I'm not saying I helped them get back in it. I was too high. No one knew where I was. I did nothing to help that, but I was part of the crowd. So anyway, that was I don't like losing, but that was that was an enjoyable game to have just played so badly for so long, and then find that you got back in it. It was one of those losses I felt not terrible about afterwards because of how it transpired. But it's frustrating because revisionist, you're like, man, if you shot better than, let's see, what was it? They shot 25% from 3 in the first half and 12% from 3 in the second half. I mean, you make 3 more of those, you win the game. It's it's frustrating, but that's the way basketball go.
All right, Texas Tech up 5, 37.9 to go. D5 has just put this team on his back.
Which he was unable to. He had a rough game against UCF, especially that first half. Not to pick on someone because he's the core of the team, but he was 5 of 16 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3. He had 11 points.
He had a fingertip lay-in.
Oh man.
Layup was fouled on it. Ended up missing the free throw, but Texas Tech got the rebound and then were fouled. So we're shooting a 1-on-1. Hawkins hits the front one up by 6, 70-64.
I missed the second one.
Oh, is there a lane violation? We get to shoot again.
Oh, good. I love when they call that because it is so inconsistent. It's always like, well, it's kind of like holding. I don't know. We'll call it this time. You could call lane violation every single time.
What's this coach is a whiny baby.
Because he's probably pointing out the same thing I am, like
yelling 70 feet at the official who called it. It's like, bro,
it's a lane. If it's a lane violation now, it's been a lane violation all night.
Yeah. They call it on 45. He knew it. He knew it as soon as he did it.
Yeah.
He stepped in.
Him. I bet they do it again. You're not supposed to step in until the ball is in the air. And it's every time.
It was okay. It was much closer that time, but we nailed the free throw. So we're up by 7 now.
Oh, turnover.
Oh, it's our ball. Run, Hawkins. Play keep away.
Hold it.
Here we go.
Hold it. Make them
Are they going to give up? Are they going to give up?
There you go. Oh, I like that D5 attempted the 40-foot 3 just in case.
Let's go. Right. I probably bought far too much into the projection and the point spread, how you were supposed to beat UCF. Did my iPad just die? What a time. What a beautiful time for this piece of holy crap.
Well, I'll keep you up to date then. So that's how you were watching it?
I had my iPad set up on the desk.
So D5 bricked both.
Oh no.
Or no, we're not in the bonus. We're not in the double bonus.
Okay.
So it was a 1-and-1. He bricked it, and BYU got the rebound, called timeout, 23 seconds left.
Okay. I'm back up on my phone. Okay. So I guess
he's back, folks.
Also, it's something that was like super frustrating. Oh, they're heading to they're heading for the exits. Um, I guess I expected to win when you had that much of a margin kind of built into the projection. Um, and maybe you could have had you not gotten down by 17 or 18 points, whatever it was, and not shot like absolute garbage, or had guys go off against you. But again, coming back on the road, doing what you did against Utah was a thing of beauty. You kind of play with your food a little bit in the first half,
Yeah, that's exactly it.
put it away quietly in the second half. Like the lead just kept growing bigger and bigger and bigger. Um, I didn't watch the game until after. I don't know if we were talking about this before we started recording or if it was uh, after we started. But like I watched the game this morning, so I knew what happened. I knew the final score. So I was like, I don't know if I just wasn't invested into it. So like as the lead kept growing, I wasn't really paying super close attention. Um,
Real time, it was a frustrating first half. It was one of those where you almost feel like you should apologize for how frustrated you were in the first half to go on and win by almost 30 on the road against a conference opponent. Because the first half, oh man, you ran off to, I forgot what it was, 14-4 lead or something. And then slowly but surely, they
they
tied
came
it
back and
up
tied it. Mm-hmm.
with like 14 minutes left in the first half. And you thought, man, this is just going to be that type of game. It wasn't. It did not end up being that type of game. Texas Tech outscored Utah 29-46 in the second half. So it is one of those where I felt like I should have apologized to the team just for how frustrated I was in the first half. It was not warranted, turns out.
Hit the first free throw. BYU gets the rebound, but then knocks out of bounds. Texas Tech ball.
That's a
13.8 to
shame.
go, up by 8. Texas Tech looks to be finishing out a 2-0 road trip.
Oh, they're not calling the foul. That's great. Just let it run down. That's fine.
One of the things that like bugged me to
A prayer of a 3 rolled in with 1.8 left. Wonder if that makes a difference with someone in Vegas or not, but Texas Tech will go on to win 72-67 final.
So I was not hopeful for the game tonight that you were going to win this one, because BYU is really good shooting threes. You have not been really good defending the three. They may have had an off night. Maybe your defense was just a little bit better. At least getting them off the 3-point line. They were driving pretty much whenever they wanted to. They started off the first half and such a frustrating defense that like they were double teaming anybody that like came inside the 3-point line, and you were not able to get the ball around and move it. But you fought, you hit shots, you found ways to hit threes, you kept them off the 3-point line, and you win. You go 2-0 on
Yeah.
the road in Utah. Heck yeah. Come back home 2-1 to take on Iowa State this weekend. Number 3, Iowa State. They are Iowa State
Deservedly so.
Number
far.
5. Yeah, number 5. It has the metrics. They even have a about a 2.5 point projected win for Iowa State here, 77.8 to 75.3, 7.4. They are scoring nearly 87 points per game and giving up 65. I mean, very similar to you and your scoring points per game output. You're scoring 86.5. They're scoring 86.6. They're giving up 65.0. You're giving up 65.2. You're shooting a nation's best 51.6% from the field. They are shooting 50.4. You are holding opponents to shooting 40.6 from the field. They're holding opponents to 40.9. You're a little bit better, a 3-point shooting team, 39.7 to their 35. Their 3-point defense is better than yours, 31.8 to your 34.3. You're shooting higher free throw percentage at 78.7, but they are attempting 7 more per game. They are hitting 75% of their free throws, but they are attempting 24, whereas you're attempting 17. and then rebounds again are almost identical. So statistically, very, very similar teams, um, except for at least in this box here, free throws attempted, and then
Well,
3-point defense.
and I would even point out turnover margin as well, because
Yeah.
Iowa
Oh yeah.
State.
Sorry, I hadn't gotten there yet. But yeah,
Yeah, you're good. You're good. But yeah, Iowa State, very similar as far as turnovers committed. So Texas Tech commits 10.4, Iowa State commits 9.7, but Tech uh, opponents commits 13.8, whereas Iowa State's opponents commit 15.6. So almost a 6 turnover margin there, as opposed to Tech having more of a 3 turnover margin.
yeah,
So that's
almost 3.5.
very important to
Take
keep
care
control of the ball. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. At home, hopefully this close to the start of classes, you'll get your students back.
Yeah,
That was
especially for this type of game.
one of the big things I think you definitely noticed against the UCF, the game
Oh,
against UCF.
so many stragglers, man. I mean, the stadium. It was just the stadium. The arena was pretty much dead almost the entire first half. Part of it was just the crowd was weird, and part of it was there wasn't a lot to cheer about. And then the other part was that just people just were so late. Like
It
there were,
was
I
like a
don't know how many.
noon tip off,
It was at
wasn't it?
1. It was at
Okay,
1,
one.
and so I don't know how many people were showing up with 3 minutes left in the first half or after halftime. I mean, all this kind of stuff around me, and I'm just like, that would drive me nuts. Like, the concession stands the concession lines were insanely long, and we got in, and of course it's during lunch, and my wife's hungry and wants to get in line, and I'm like, okay, well, sorry, but I'm going to go to the seat, and that wasn't like, hey, get me something. I'm going to the seat, babe. It wasn't that. It was just, I'll get in line later. I don't want to miss tip off, and I would have missed tip off if I had. But meanwhile, other people are showing up with at like 2:15. Like, why
That's
bother at
wild.
that point? But oh well. It
'Cause
was
they
it
paid
was
for the
weird.
ticket. They paid
Yeah.
for
So
it.
I know. I'm hoping the kids come back and make a difference.
Yeah, hope so. Um, it's going to be a tough matchup, but again, like you love this kind of matchup at home, especially with some momentum now. Obviously, Iowa State's rolling too. Like they've been not
Yeah.
like they're coming in wounded or anything. Um, they've been having their way with people. But
Including Baylor. I mean,
oh yeah, they took it to Baylor the other
beat
night.
the crap out of Baylor, because I was doing some laundry or something, and I thought, oh, I'm going to turn on this game. It's halftime. It's going to be great. It was not great. It was not entertaining to watch. It was just like, oh my gosh, this is just. And I thought this would be a lot closer than this.
Let's go back. Let's see it real quick. One, okay. The other thing about frustrating thing about losing to UCF, they got blasted at home by Kansas, 99-48.
That too.
They lost
That
by
really
almost
hurt.
50 points.
Yeah.
Iowa State won by 19 at home versus Baylor, 74-55.
Yeah. I started watching at halftime. I think it would come out of half, and it was Iowa State was only up by 8, 33-25, and then it was very clear that was just going to increase as the half went on. So
Did you watch any game on Monday?
Sad by me.
The
The
Houston TCU
UCF
game? No,
Houston TCU. Oh no, I did not. I haven't watched any Houston basketball yet. I need to.
When I read you the score, like I heard this score and I was like, oh my gosh, that would have sucked to watch. 65-46.
It's like some 2018 Texas Tech basketball, maybe.
That just sounds like painful.
Except it would have been 55-39.
Yeah. Tomorrow night, you get a couple of black and gold teams going up against each other. Colorado in Orlando, and then Arizona State in Lawrence. And then your slate on Saturday, Kansas at Cincinnati, BYU at TCU, Iowa State in Lubbock, Houston at Kansas State, Oklahoma State at Utah, Baylor at Arizona State, UCF at Arizona. And then you get a Sunday matchup. West Virginia at Colorado on Sunday.
Sounds nice.
No Monday games, but then you get Oklahoma State at BYU, Texas Tech at Kansas State, Tuesday night, the 14th, 8 p.m. UCF at Arizona State, Baylor at Arizona.
That Sunday matchup's really odd because it's on ESPN Plus. It's not like it's to garner some sort of national audience or anything. Okay, well, it made sense to somebody.
I mean, you could have put that game in the 3 o'clock window and basically taken every TV window on Saturday. You've got 3 games at 1, then a game at 5, a game at 6, 8:30, and then 9.
Oh yeah, the Iowa State. You may have mentioned it, but because it's Iowa State, and because it's not like Texas Tech is a bad team, this will be on big ESPN.
Yeah,
which will be nice.
All right. The only other thing about basketball I wanted to mention, Michael. Sorry, cut you off.
Go ahead. No, you're good. You're good.
You got a commitment yesterday, Monday, from Mario Akuntak. I probably didn't say that right. 6'11", 215, reclassified from the 2025 class into 2024, which how does that work out? He's going to be joining the team, coming to school this week. Will redshirt the rest of this season to play next year. But you love that to get a big guy on campus, get him go ahead and ingrained into the culture and into the strength and nutrition, all that kind of stuff, getting ready for next year, in 9 months.
Yeah, and give somebody for Toppin and Federico to bang against in practice a little bit too.
All right. Anything else in basketball, Michael?
No.
All right, let's wrap this up with what do we learn? What do you say?
Yeah.
What did we learn, Palmer?
I don't know, sir.
I don't know either.
All right. We talked about it, teased, mentioned it. I don't even know. New Year's was last week. A lot of people talk about New Year's resolutions. If you're a listener of the Gambling Gauchos, you've heard them talk about their resolutions are to not get into fewer arguments. To help out with that, Michael, I extended an olive branch to Kyle. I said, hey, y'all are getting into arguments about food. If you want to move that off the Gambling Gauchos, y'all are more than welcome to join us and have your food discourse with us. Kyle, you want to come? You can join us. Yes, and Rob, we talk about food. We will have those discussions.
We could set we're civil. We're civil people.
Did you hear them talk about fried chicken?
No.
When somebody says fried chicken, what food are you thinking? Specifically the item in front of you. What is it?
Bone-in fried chicken. I'm thinking either a chicken leg or a thigh. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
So that's what Rob said and meant. When he was talking about fried chicken, he meant bone-in, breaded, deep fried, all that kind of stuff.
Yes, that's correct.
And maybe to be a little confrontational, a little adversarial, Kyle was like, well, if you batter and fry a chicken strip, is that not fried chicken? And of course, Rob was like, it is fried chicken, but it's not fried chicken.
Correct.
Anyways, they went off on that for a while. I'm just saying, if you wanna hash out some food takes, we're here for you. We don't record on the same days. I don't know what your schedule looks like, Kyle. I know you've not been on the Gauchos every now and then. That's your production, whatever. We go Tuesday nights. If you want to send somebody, yourself, representative, move the food discussions off, we're here for you.
Just doing our part to help keep New Year's resolutions. That's us. That's us here at 23 Personnel.
Yeah. So, do you have any resolutions
I don't.
you'd want to share?
This is it's so bad. Like we talked about this last week. You mentioned, okay, we'll share resolutions next week, and I thought, oh, great, they'll give me some time to come up with one, and I never did. I never did. I don't have. I- what do you got? Do you have any?
Well, it's not so much like a resolution. I have two things. One, more like just getting back on the wagon. Basically, since mid November, it's like we'll
Regarding
figure
what?
out
Diet, exercise, all of it.
diet. I haven't stopped exercising, but it was more like, I mean, if there's going to be a class party, I'm gonna go.
Well, and I
I'm
shouldn't
gonna
say diet. We should say eating habits, better eating,
well
nutrition plan.
diet as in like yeah, as in like the all encompassing like what I choose to consume.
Is a
Not like
diet.
I'm
What
following
you're
a
yeah.
yeah.
Yes, got it.
My diet is to eat fewer calories, more protein, more vegetables, that kind of thing. Not like I'm going Atkins, I'm going carnivore, I'm going keto. What? No,
Yeah.
no. So there's that.
I'm on the chicharrones queso diet.
That sounds fantastic.
Well, it's keto.
Uh,
It's good for you.
does Caprock do a chicharrona
Yes,
substitute?
they do that, and I think it was partially because of all that, because people weren't ordering chips and salsa, so they started. Well, shoot, I guess what if we just fry up some pork fat with your processed cheese? Oh, okay. Yeah,
Sign
yeah,
me
I'll
up,
eat
brother.
that.
Fewer carbs.
Keep those awful tortilla chips away from me. Heaven forbid. Bring on the pork fat.
Let's deep fry some fat. um. So yeah. Um. But then, like more personally, mentally, to and this is kind of similar to what we're talking about with the gauchos, just to not get drawn off side as much, not to let myself get sucked into needless debates, get fired up about stupid things. January 7th is already proven to be difficult. um and just here in Texas, the right to work state, we have no exposure to unions, but we are experiencing another work stoppage, another union strike in Oregon. The same group is striking again. Um, I may be going back to Oregon as early as Friday. I doubt it would be that soon because whatever. The strike starts on Friday. Let's put it that way. I do not have flight plans. I've reached out to our labor relations person who asked for me specifically, said, do you want to come back? And then their communications lead is like, hey, like our situation at my home has changed quite a bit since last June. I'm interested in helping out, but like I kind of need to figure out um like is this the strike is open ended. So it's not like, hey, it's not like the union said we're having a 5-day strike. It's we're having a strike until I guess they decide they're done. Um because they're just petty and awful people. Um there are ways to accomplish what they want to accomplish. Whether or not the truth is in the middle somewhere, right? Between what the union's saying and what my organization is saying. Um, but one of the things that's like been like entirely disingenuous and something that like been firing me up. When they gave the notice to strike, we cut off negotiations, and they're like, "Look, they're not even willing to negotiate with us." It's like, you know why? Because now we have to scramble to replace the thousands of nurses, and now the doctors and mid levels that are participating in this strike this time that weren't participating last time, we have to replace them too. We don't have time to go back and forth with you on pay, which you agreed on 6 months ago, or on staffing laws, which you helped write, or X, Y, and Z, which were okay, but then you decided they weren't okay. So no, we don't have time to play these games now that you're going to disrupt and interrupt patient care, and we have to replace that. And we can't just stop caring for patients. There's always going to be a need for that. Anyways, um, the Oregon Nursing Association is testing that right now.
I was about to say it sounds like you're doing great. You've
Um,
kicked it. You've kicked the offsides habit.
um,
I don't have. I'm trying like I'm like forcing myself to come up with one, and that's not great. But I mean, there's always stuff you can work on, and always things I can work on. Yeah, if I come up with one, it wouldn't be very genuine. So I'm just gonna
that's fair.
pass.
Well, the other thing I had a question. It's not like what do we learn? It's more of a question.
Yeah.
Um, our significant others' birthdays are relatively close together.
Mhm.
About 6 weeks. You guys celebrated a birthday. We have one
Yes.
coming up. What is the celebration, birthday celebration like in the McDonald house? Like, is it like we go out to eat, or is like there's a production, there's a party, people are invited, or is it like we're gonna cook steaks, we're gonna open a present, and that's gonna be it? Like, how big do you go? Is it a Michael thing? Is it a your wife says differently? Like, because like for me, it's like we're gonna go out to eat, we're gonna open a present or whatever. Samantha more on the production party side, especially this year. She's turning 35. She's fine with me saying that, by the way.
Okay, good.
But
Glad you checked.
she feels like she missed out on like the big milestone 30 party. She's like, I want to do that. I want to have a big thing. But also, she's like, I don't want to be like, she also doesn't like to be the center of attention. She's like, well, it's kind of the point of a party.
Yeah.
But
That's where
me,
I'm at now.
like I said,
Yeah.
I'm just like, let's go out to eat. Let's open a present, or let's splurge on a nice steak and stay in.
Yes.
So where do y'all land on that?
We're definitely more on the low key side. And that's because that's what I get asked quite a bit. My birthday is uh, right around July 4th. And so a lot of
That's
times,
that's wild that our birthdays are close together and our
yeah,
lives are close together.
yeah. And that's one of the things that's so great is a lot of times what I want is to stay home and and cook. I mean, it's perfect. Like there's just like you said, like okay, well we'll splurge. Maybe we'll go get some of those nice grass fed steaks or all hail meats or no free ads, all that kind of stuff. Maybe we'll go to a butcher shop and I'll pick out some. We've done stuff like that before, or a lot of times. I mean, that's it. Well, what do you want to do for your birthday? Well, I'd like to just hang out at the house or something. I mean, we've already booked our vacation this year, and I'm going to be gone during my birthday this year. I don't care. It's fine. It's whatever. I mean, a lot of times I was. I mean, not saying that my birthday wasn't a big deal as a kid. It was. My parents did a great job of it. But the older I got, a lot of times that was when we were planting cotton or something. And so there were a lot of birthdays I was on the tractor and it was fine. I didn't feel like I was misguided or anything, because got to have friends over that night or we went and rode go-karts or we did something cool, but it wasn't like a national holiday or something. So anyway, we're
Did you ever
both that
travel up
way.
the road to Thai?
Yeah. What do you mean? Thai, Texas?
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah. We had a
To
field
visit
there.
that fine establishment that's along I-20?
The Flying J. I'm not
Sure,
taking this bait.
sure. I mean, it's the establishment used to start with a J.
You're not getting me to go down this road. The Flying J or the Huddle House.
All right.
But no, we
I've never been a party. I never really wanted to party. It's always
no
been
it
let's go out to eat like a fancier restaurant, especially when I was at home with my parents taking me out. I was like, let's go to Magic Time Machine. Let's go to Celebration Station when I was younger, which is like I don't know, like
oh you
it's not like a main event, but it's got like arcade and go karts and batting cages and
oh
mini golf.
nice. Yeah, last year we did for my birthday. I kind of relived what I used to do when I was I don't know, middle school, high school age. I really liked chicken fried steak, and so we'd go to
Mhm.
find a really good chicken fried steak place for my birthday, and that was it. One of the big things, I mean, sometimes we'd go to arcade or whatever, but that was associated with my birthday for a long time. So that's what I did. We went to Ike's for my birthday and took my mom and my mother-in-law and I had a nice huge chicken fried steak. It was great. Now for my wife this year, we had her party tonight because we're going to go to the Lady Raider game tomorrow. Her birthday's actually this weekend, but I say we're low key, and this is still really low key, but what she wanted for her birthday this year was a hiking trip. Just the two of us were going to Big Bend.
Nice.
And
I can get
I
down for that.
know all the crazy weather's coming this week, but we've already booked, we've already paid. We're going. And it's going to be a little bit chilly down there on Friday, but I think it's going to be about perfect on Saturday. I think it's going to be like a high of 60 and sunny on Saturday. So we're leaving Thursday. I know the roads may be kind of sketchy that morning, but I think they'll clear up, and then by the time we get down there it'll be fine, and then we'll come back Sunday. That's the plan anyway. So that I was like, our daughter would be really upset if we didn't have some little party. So that was what we did tonight. I went and picked up some hayashi. I picked up some
Nice.
brown butter chocolate chip cookies from 92 Bakery. Those are like her favorite cookie. And we had some hibachi at the house and just hung out, and it was super low key.
I've never done hibachi takeout. Like, part of the experience is sitting at the table.
I agree, it is, but
also
hibachi
like,
takeout slaps, man. It's so, think about how good it is left over.
Yeah. The other thing I was gonna say, it's not like it's not like a waste of time or a trip to go and just sit in the restaurant either at a table and not at a hibachi table. We go, especially like if we're ever in the mood, or if it's a birthday that's falling like on a Tuesday or Thursday, they have their sushi specials.
Yeah,
Dude, if you get like an appetizer and a couple rolls of sushi and maybe like a side salad or a side soup or something, like, you can eat two people comfortably, 20-25 bucks, and like have good sushi, like, and not like California roll sushi, but like a J roll or West Texas roll level of sushi.
yeah. Tonight my move was, I got the chicken and shrimp hibachi because both the girls really like that, and
Steak.
and then I
Get the
got,
steak.
well, here's the thing, just for three of us, I got the chicken and shrimp hibachi, and then I got two appetizers, and we still had leftovers, Spencer.
Mm.
I just got one order of hibachi. I mean, I didn't get like a second one. I mean,
That's also a move, because
they
like
load you up, man.
they will charge extra to split it if you're in the restaurant, but like if you're just ordering it to go, like,
Yeah.
the three of us can split one entree.
Yes, the three of us split one entree and two appetizers and still had leftovers.
That's the move, then.
It was great.
I may be stealing your wife's birthday celebration idea. It may help that my birthday's in June and it would be warm, not unbearable. I've never been to Big Bend, and I've
Us
always
either.
wanted to.
We're doing the whole thing. We're doing one of those domes. We're staying at one of those domes. We're not like camping.
No, I wouldn't want to camp.
We're totally glamping. But yeah, we plan on spending 2 full days at the park. We're really excited about it.
It's far enough away that we probably need at least a one night stay.
Oh yeah, it's 6 hours.
Shoot, then.
I know.
Mhm.
Well, and this is like a big deal because it's just the two of us going, and so that was why we needed to have the party tonight, and just it was, and we didn't want to go out because I offered to go out, but this was also the first day back to school, so didn't really want to go out and eat, and knowing that we were going to be out tomorrow till 8:30 or so for the game, so. Yeah, all that to answer your original question. Most of the time, we were just pretty darn low key on whatever happens on our birthdays.
I have to look into that. All right, that'll do it for us in 23 Personnel Podcast. Texas Tech wins on the road tonight and on Saturday. Takes 2 road games in Utah tonight, 72-67, and then Saturday 20-something points against Utah. Back home versus Iowa State this weekend. Happy birthday to the misses over there. We'll be back next week, chopping up the Iowa State game and getting ready for Kansas State. For Michael, I'm Spencer. Catch you guys next time.
Thank you for listening to the 23 Personnel Podcast. Help us out by subscribing, rating the show, and leaving a review. Follow us on Twitter at 23 Personnel, Spencer at Punt Suck, and Michael at Michael_LBK. Be sure to catch the next episode. And until then, guns up and let the tortillas fly.
All right. We're clear.